Africa has no shortage of powerful, awe-inspiring animals. For 3 decades, I've had enormous respect for one such animal, the hippopotamus. 20 years ago, I had the opportunity to get up close and personal to a hippo. It happened while my wife Dee and I were on a 12-day solo canoe trip, and the unexpected happened. We were attacked. It ended up biting through our canoe, tipping us into the water and narrowly missing my legs, which would have certainly been ripped to shreds. I suspect we had floated over top of him. He was probably asleep, and we scared him. And I think when he bit the canoe, it scared him as much as it did us. We were lucky that day. We managed to repair our canoe and carry on. But since that experience, I've never looked at hippos in quite the same way. I've returned to Africa for a different kind of hippo experience. I've heard about a sacred hippo pool where you can have a spiritual experience with hippos. It's a place that I'm trying to find now, but to get there, I have to go to a little village by the name of Makangaga. It's there where I'm to meet a fellow they call the Hippo Whisperer. There are no sneaky backwoods trails leading to Makangaga's sacred hippo pool. There's one road in, and it runs right through the middle of the village. And make no mistake, these people are the gatekeepers. I think I see who I'm supposed to meet, up just ahead. Hello, greetings, Yahaia. Very, very pleased to meet you.
Okay.
Very pleased to meet you.
Asante sana.
Asante sana.
Karibu.
Karibu.
Yes,
Makangaga.
please welcome.
Makangaga.
Welcome to Makangaga.
Well, thank you very, very much. And I understand this is the chairwoman?
This is the chairwoman
Mwenye kiti.
of the village. It's the chairwoman of the village, Makangaga.
Chairwoman of Makangaga. I'm very pleased to meet you.
He said that Amenishi allow you to do wherever you want.
Oh, that's fantastic. Thank you very, very much. That's great. It looks like we are good to go. With official permission from the village, we continue our journey. The road in is brutal, and for the first while, passes through a rugged landscape. But then, out of nothing, the landscape blossoms, appearing before us, an oasis. This place is like no other in all of Africa. Here the shade deepens, the air cools, the sounds change. It's like a journey to Middle Earth. The truck can only take us so far. For the final approach, we walk. I'm joined by Yahaia and a fellow simply known as Grub. Grub is working with the villagers on ways to protect the pool. And if the name Grub rings a bell, well, it should. Despite being born and raised in the wilds of Africa, Grub had a high-profile childhood. His mother is none other than the world-renowned conservationist Jane Goodall. Together, she and Grub hope to save this sanctuary.
From the very first time I came here, I felt this special connection with the place here. You know, I can remember walking down the slope here, and it was almost like walking into a scene from Jurassic Park. You know, with the trees and the vines and the pool. There was something very magical and almost mysterious about this place that I fell in love with immediately.
We are now getting very close to the pool.
He's communicating with the hippos. He's letting them know that he's on his way down to the edge of the pond.
Then, something magical happens.
They're answering him. What is Yahaia saying?
So, but he's basically just greeting the hippos, telling them they mustn't be worried. We're not here to harm them.
There's no doubt about it. They're surfacing and looking at him and listening to him.
What we are witnessing is remarkable. But what might even be more amazing is this has been going on for 100 years. Literally for 3 generations, Yahaia's family has watched over the pool. And with each passing generation, a new family member has assumed the role of Hippo Whisperer. It all started many years ago with a villager named Chimombo. Chimombo was a fisherman, and one day he disappeared while fishing at this pond. Legend has it, he had become a hippo. And to this day, the villagers believe these very hippos carry the souls of their ancestors.
There's something happening here. It's taking my understanding of hippos and their relationship with us a little bit deeper. It's a remarkable indication of the kind of spiritual connection that the local people have here with the hippos, and I find it fascinating.
Toka patandi na mama tuongezi nayo ni mona mwana ni mwene mununi anze Chimombo ndio mwene panda.
We're gonna do some eavesdropping on them. That exhalation was one of their aggressive maneuvers. It's designed to scare you, which it did.
The underwater life of hippos is extraordinary. To see their beautiful, graceful movements almost resembles that of a whale, which isn't much of a stretch because whales are hippos' closest living relative. This is a world we rarely see or hear. But if you listen closely, it's a world full of song. The songs of the hippos aren't just below the water. Fact is, hippos have the ability to communicate above and below water at the same time in 2 totally different conversations. And their hearing is no less remarkable. Often we see hippos in this common pose, eyes and ears just above the water. One reason is because they are listening. Not just with their ears, but also underwater with their jaws.
Oh, look at this. Hippos not only live here, but they die here too. Now this is a small hippo, but it shows in a perfect way how flat their heads are and how the orbits, how the eyes are located above the water. So when they surface, they expose the minimal amount above the water. And when I flip it over under here too, I can see where the ear attachments are. These guys can hear both underwater and above water and figure out which way the sound is coming from under the water, which means they probably hear through that oversized jaw, just like dolphins do. So the plot thickens.
So it makes me wonder, with such complex wiring for communication, can hippos actually understand what we are saying? Or perhaps the bigger question, what does Yahaia know that we don't?
This morning I heard Yahaia when he was talking to the hippos, and I heard him saying to the hippos how the world is changing and that they must expect new visitors now, and that they mustn't be worried because the new visitors, by them coming here, they will be helping to protect the area. I've seen so much of so many beautiful places in Africa destroyed because of development. And hopefully for our intervention, we can help to prevent this. So Yahaia is gradually introducing the hippos to the idea that, the world is changing and they must also now accept some visitors to the area. And that this is very important if they want to be basically saved.
I've been traveling Africa for over 30 years, and I can count on one hand the number of places that I have visited that are this profoundly beautiful and tranquil. And it just fills me full of that understanding of the need to make sure places like this don't disappear. And I guess if I was to think about what the Hippo Whisperer might say,
Ze, Chimombo, Habari.
And Chimombo means hippo.
Yeah.
Ah. Thank you very much.
Oh.
There's so much more to the hippo than I ever realized. And the next time I'm canoeing down an African river, I'll stop and think of Yahaia and listen to the songs of the hippo.